Speaking of Ohio, we've got that state senator, Portman, easily re-elected, by the way, I should point out of Washington. Senator, very good to have you. Thanks for coming.
Neil, thanks for having me on again.
Are you going to have a chance, sir, to join President-elect when he goes to Cincinnati later on tonight as part of this thank you tour?
I will, yeah. We have a vote this afternoon that I have to make, and then I'm going to get to Cincinnati as fast as I can, and look forward to being with him there. And look, I'm very hopeful. We're turning a new page, new Congress, new president. I see a lot of hope for us to begin to focus on some of these problems that came up over the last few years on my campaign. I talked about them a lot, the jobs issue, the issue of how to fix the tax code and provide some regulatory relief and deal with Obamacare and the cost increases. So I think we can get at a lot of these problems now.
What about your state's governor, John Kasich? He's been noticeably absent in all this hoopla, as he was at the convention earlier this year. Is he going to be there?
I don't know. Look, John's done a great job in Ohio. We actually now are a little ahead of the nation in terms of our economy and some of the changes that we made in Ohio, including getting the debt and deficit under control.
No, I know that, but he looks like a big baby right now, don't you think? What do you think?
Well, look, I think it's time for everybody, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent, to root for America, and that means you would want this president and his team to be successful.
Have you told him that, Senator, and just said, all right, cease, desist, stop acting like this?
Well, I haven't heard him say anything negative at all. I think
but have you tried? I guess what I'm saying, you've been very diplomatic throughout this process. There were a lot of things that made you wince at candidate Trump, but you worked your hiney off to make sure the vote got out there. The governor did not. Have you talked to him since to try to, mend things between the two camps?
No, that's something that is between them. And again, I haven't heard John say anything negative at all. In fact, I've heard him. He sent a tweet out immediately congratulating Donald Trump and saying he wanted the country to move forward. So I think that'll be fine, Neil. I think the bigger issue is whether we're going to be able to work with some Democrats here on Capitol Hill to actually put forward an agenda that many of them have supported in the past. More infrastructure spending, for instance, fixing the tax code so that it works for everybody. So I think that's going to be our challenge, and so far so good. I talked to some Democrats this morning, in fact, who, they aren't happy about the election results, obviously, but they do want to be sure that we're moving the country forward. And I think it's incumbent upon us as Republicans in the Senate and the House, to figure out how to map this thing out so that you do have some Democrat support so you can get it through the Senate, and that we can actually begin to deliver some results.
Senator, what do you make of the role that the president-elect played with Carrier air conditioning to keep those jobs here? Some people have said it's unprecedented. Other pure market types actually fret over this sort of thing, as we see Mr. Trump and his entourage line up in his plane to make the trip over to Indianapolis. How do you stand on this? It's a unique role. What do you think?
No, Neil, look, I think it's all good. I do this now and again, pick up the phone and call a CEO. I say, look, I'm a United States Senator. I'm not calling to offer you any legislation. I am telling you that Ohio is a great place to do business and explain why, and it makes a difference. And so I think he was able to nudge the top executives there to make the right decision. But he's not, frankly, it sounds like most of what they're most concerned about is the state providing them additional tax relief to be able to stay there and to be competitive. What I do think Donald Trump can promise all of these companies that are America-based now is that we're going to have a tax code that doesn't punish them relative to other countries. And that's one of our problems now. And you and I have talked about it before. You've been on this. It's not just these inversions where companies are leaving and merging with a smaller company overseas. It's takeovers. We're having a lot of U.S. companies being taken over by foreign companies because our tax law is so non-competitive now, they can pay a premium. So to the carriers of the world, they're going to have their issues in Indiana. They're getting resolved. That's great. They're going to make a decision to stay for now. What they really are looking for is some certainty into the future that America is going to have a competitive tax code so that they're not losing out, to foreign competition.
Senator, a real pleasure having you. Congratulations on your re-election. Good luck with everything from here on out.
Thanks, Neil. Always great to be on with you.
Thanks, Senator.